Good evening, everyone. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, August 8, 2024, 6 p.m. I'd like to invite Daniel Beard forward with Action Church. He'll provide our invocation and lead us in our pledge, if everyone will stand.
Let's pray. Father, we come to you this evening. We ask that as the council and the mayor and the city leaders look across the agenda, God, that you give them wisdom, you guide them. Thank you for their leadership, Father God. May your blessings continue to be on each of them, and may they be in good health as they continue to make decisions that are sometimes easy but also many times tough for our city. And we pray for your ability to do that. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Mayor Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Here.
Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Tyler.
Here.
Councilmember Witt. Here. City Manager Miller.
Here.
City Attorney Litchford.
Here.
All right, the first item we have is Employee Milestone Awards. This is where we recognize our employees that have tenured service with our city. We have two for the month of July. Melissa Mahoney with the Codes Department, 15 years. And then Alan Qualls with Sanitation, 5 years. So we appreciate those two and all of our employees. That's what makes our city great. These will receive the certificate and a check and a pen. So we appreciate them. We'll move to the next item, approval of the minutes for July 25th, 2024 council meeting. I assume everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes, and I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any corrections or discussions? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
I was on vacation.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, minutes are approved. The next item is communications from citizens. This is an opportunity for any citizen and resident to address the council with any questions, concerns, or accolades. No one signed in, but if there's anyone in the audience, now is your opportunity, and you'll have up to 5 minutes. I don't see anyone, so we'll move to communications from council members. Start on this side. Councilmember Tyler.
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Councilmember Witt. Vice Mayor Haynes.
Nothing at this time.
Councilmember Cagle.
No, sir, I don't have anything.
All right, well, not so lucky with me. Okay, so our library, we've got several things going. So a novel idea book club is Saturday the 10th, 11 to 12. This book of the month is Bad Monkey. So come join them for a discussion. Then also on Thursday, August the 15th, from 2 to 3:30, acrylic pour coaster class. Learn how to pour and swirl acrylics. To make your own coasters. Snacks will be provided. Registration is required. Then on the 24th, Saturday the 24th, 10:30 to 11:30, learn how to draw Bluey and Bingo for the kids. So that'll be fun. So registration is required. Space is limited there. So for either one of those, call 423-867-7323 to register for either one of those. Then Parks and Rec at the Community Center, come pick up the last minute school supplies. Got you on that one. Starting at 9, Monday, August the 12th, supplies will be given out while they last in separate bags, 1 bag per student. Unfortunately, the bag will not contain all the school supplies, but several pieces of that. These school supplies are at no cost, and a great thanks to our community members for their donations to supply this. Then East Ridge staff wants to invite the public to join them for a possum event. Got the other one from you. On Saturday, August the 24th, the staff of East Ridge Community Center and East Ridge Animal Services will host an adoption carnival. The dog-themed event will be free, have free on-site adoptions. They're waiving the $75 adoption fee during the event. The carnival will be held at the community center. The family-friendly event will be from 11 to 3, feature pop-up focus events, and have everyone howling for laughter. Children and adults can come and enjoy the rides, old-fashioned milk bottle toss, games, not rides, sorry, milk bottle toss with cans of dog food, and then they'll have ring toss, which will be dog collars. So it's going to be a great event, so come and join them and maybe take home a furry friend when you leave. And then Camp Jordan, we have so many activities and events going on with festivals, expos, car shows, so on and so forth. So, and then our great fall festival. So I'm going to ask Director Skiles if she come forward and tell us a little bit about all those events.
Well, on September 28th of this year, we will have our annual Fall Festival that will go from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and it is free entry. We have expanded our children's zone for our library, our bounce houses, our petting zoo, a little bit of everything. So we've got 145 vendors now. Gosh, it's like trying to remember everything that we booked the past few days. But we've done sponsorships. ASA Engineering will be our main sponsor now this year. Park Ridge is sponsoring our pumpkin patch. First Bank is sponsoring our petting zoo, and Jack's is sponsoring our food court right now. So we've added that onto our agenda this year, which has been able to let us expand for the children. And again, all of these things are free. We'll have at least, like I said, 143 vendors, craft vendors and food trucks or food people that will have like baked goods and everything. So that's our biggest event coming up at Camp Jordan that we now offer. Next is our sports. So as of right now, adult softball registration ended August 3rd. We still have, for the youth, we still have registration for T-ball, baseball, and softball open through August 18th. We have flag football open through August 18th. Registration for youth soccer will be open through August 11th, and cheerleading will be offered open through August 18th also. Again, our prices kind of vary between $55 to $100 based on what sport. We have all this information on our website at eastridgeparksandrec.com. Anything else?
Thank you, ma'am. All right, that's all that I have, so I'll hand it off to City Manager Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple items. Give an update on the North Mac Smith Road widening project. EPB has completed their overhead lines to the new poles, and their underground with the conduit underneath the roadway to the Fairfield Inn and the assisted living residence has been completed. Chattanooga started several days ago in regard to directional boring for the new gas line. It should be completed and out of there in about 2 to 2.5 weeks. After that, AT&T, Comcast, and EPB Fiber will come in to install their overhead lines. And lastly, we can hopefully get Adams Contracting in somewhere between the middle of September to the beginning of October to start the construction activities, which would start off 270 days from their start date. That's the first one. Second one, good news. The other day we had a walkthrough with the contractor and the architect and city staff developing a punch list of all the necessary repairs for the East Ridge Animal Shelter. They're small, kind of like screens and items as caulking of areas, readjusting of doors, backsplash, et cetera, et cetera. But we did come to a conclusion that they are at the point of substantial completion. I signed off on a substantial completion certificate today. We are looking at possibly moving in or start moving our FF&E, furniture, fixtures, and equipment in on Monday, because that's the 12th. And the contractor will be there with their subs completing all the items off of the punch list. And for the next several weeks, we'll get our equipment in order, our dog beds set up, and et cetera, and hopefully we'll open up to the public in September after Labor Day. So that's good news. we're completing that project. My next item is we're gonna start another project. We're going one right after another.
That's the way we like it.
Okay, I signed off on the bids today. It'll be advertised Sunday, 4 weeks. We are bidding out the multipurpose pavilion. And the schedule that we are looking at right now, advertised in the Times Free Press starting August 11th. Bids will be open on September 10th. Review of bids between the 10th and the 24th, and looking at consideration to award the lowest responsible bidder on September 26th. Probably looking at towards the middle to the end of October for our start of construction on this project. So we're ending one and starting another one. I'm not sure on the days on this one, whether it's going to be 270 to 360 days or what. We're still talking about that. But the other good news is we're hopefully going to go out in April for the expansion to the community center. So we've got a lot of neat projects coming along with the city. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll move to old business. So under old business, we have a tabled item. It's ordinance number 1205. Do you want to go ahead and read it, or do you want me to go ahead and ask, so if you want to get it off the table?
Well, I'll read it, and then we'll see if there's a motion. Let's just be consistent. So, ordinance 1205, an ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend ordinance 1028, which amended the East Ridge zoning ordinance number 481 by adding an additional section thereto, being section 111 of Article 6, supplemental regulations and exceptions in the East Ridge zoning ordinance. This was tabled as of June 13, 2024. To consider any action, this would have to be moved off this table.
That is correct. So we've had now a draft D that has been presented to the council members. So I will, I'll entertain a motion if someone wants to bring this off the table and second it, and we can discuss.
I make a motion to bring it off the table.
We have a motion to bring this off the table from Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, sir. Has this been back in front of the planning commission? Because it says here they approved it May the 6th, so have they approved what we're fixing to pass tonight?
No.
Okay.
No,
so
they did not go back. So I'm going to go ahead and get a roll call, then we can actually then move into the actual ordinance.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
No.
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. So that is approved to bring off the table. So now we have it active. So I will entertain a motion for ordinance number 1205.
Let me read it now.
You want to read it again?
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to read it. All right, so
Let's get procedures down.
this is for consideration of ordinance number 1205, an ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend ordinance 1028, which amended the East Ridge zoning ordinance number 481 by adding an additional section thereto, being section 111 of Article 6, supplemental regulations and exceptions in the East Ridge zoning ordinance.
Thank you, sir. So we did bring it off the table. It is now active. We can now make a motion, and then if we want to amend or discuss, we can do that. So I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1205.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 1205.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. So would you have any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, on page 3, this will be A4. Those lights that they're showing pictures of here, that's going to be allowed under the dining canopies and stuff like that. Okay, these lights are hanging across Captain Jordan Parkway down there, so are they going to be allowed to be hung down there too?
It's a canopy, so yes.
That's a canopy?
That's considered a canopy, yes.
In other words, you can put up lights across up here and call it a canopy.
What they have down there is a canopy, yes.
Okay. All right. Section B, number 3, says for existing businesses, they don't have to do anything as long as they're open in existing businesses.
That's correct. They'd be grandfathered in.
All righty. Number 4, under section B, business operation this time ordinance can continue again also, but if they decease order, it says 30 days to remove all signage, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Councilman, let me ask a question to Mr. Howell. Is this Part B relating to storefront display as in signage?
This would refer to all signage, on-premise signage, which has already been approved by city council in the original sign ordinance. This is just a reiteration of that from the sign ordinance. So if a business closes in East Ridge, you have 30 days to remove that sign, right now, as it sits. That's been in it since 2017, I believe, yes.
Okay. Now we'll go down to section B, number 8. Existing businesses must comply with new light display within 90 days. So over here, they don't have to, but over here, they got to come in compliance in 90 days.
The compliance would be strictly for light displays, not storefront.
Lighting display.
Lighting
Yeah,
displays.
so
if
8
you have-
says for
No
new lighting
storefront.
display regulations.
That's correct. So if you have LED stripes on your business as of now, then they would have to conform to that within 90 days if this ordinance passes.
You said that was no store frontage.
No, sir. This is strictly for
Okay.
lighting.
Okay. Then over here where it says, be it furthered on page 5, be it further ordained that all businesses shall have to comply within 60 days. So are we 90 days or 60 days?
That will be 90 days. We'll have to change that.
That's in the
Page
last
5.
page 5 of the ordinance.
Next to last paragraph.
Got it. Yes.
Yeah, we moved that back a bit and didn't get it tidied up everywhere.
That's good pickup. Yep, 90.
Well, that's supposed to be 90 days.
Yes, sir.
That's all of my questions.
To that point, well, let's see if we have other discussions, but we probably need to amend the ordinance to cleanly cover that 90-day adjustment in this ordinance. Any other discussion?
Section B, second part, where it has, for new construction, renovations of 50% or businesses sold. Note that I've spoken to a few of the business owners that are, business sold is the only real hangup for them. Is there a way that we could amend it to where it says a business is sold within a certain period of time of passing this ordinance to kind of have them some grace in case they want to sell in the next few years?
So you're not saying taking it out, you're saying kind of tweaking it.
Yeah, tweak it. Like a business sold within 2 years of passing of the ordinance to allow for any of the people that are currently in businesses in East Ridge to have the option to sell now if they'd like. That way it's not a hindrance to them to, say they want to sell the business. It's not a hindrance for them to get that sold through and gives a 2-year window.
So grandfathering it, but put a time
Yeah.
limit on it.
For the new business owner, right, basically grandfather that new business
Sure.
owner in 2 years. After that point, then you do have to come into conformance
Right.
with the sign or the storefront requirements. Yeah.
Does the new business owner have to come to it within a certain period of time, or they're just totally grandfathered in? The new business.
Right now, Ms. Ani, as it sits, if the business is sold, you'd have to conform,
If we change it to 2 years?
then they would have a 2-year time frame on that, yes.
Well, yeah, but if.
So
the
they
new
could sell it
business-
between now and 2 years and not have to, not be grandfathered. They would be grandfathered, wouldn't have to
Right.
comply. But after the 2 years, if it's sold again, then it would.
Okay, but the new business owner would never have to make those adjustments. Okay, that's what I was asking.
Only then, yeah, right.
Well, if we we put the 2 years, let's get clarification on that so we understand this. It's 2 years from today if this is adopted, or I'm sorry, if this is first reading.
The second reading.
So second reading, it's 2 years from second reading, regardless of how many times it's sold.
Yeah, it could be sold 5 times between now and then.
Constituted in there, when the 2 years is up, on past second reading,
The
they
next
have to bring
time,
it into conformance. It's not if it's sold in another.
2 years
sold
is
a
added.
year, and then that person gets 2 years, and then it's sold in a year. That's not what you're addressing, are you? You're just looking at 2 years from the second reading.
okay. Any other discussion?
In that section B, the fourth thing down there, says however, if business ceases operations, then the owner, are we talking about the property owner or the business owner? Then he has to go out and remove all signage or, are we
Yeah.
talking about the business owner or are we talking about the property owner? That has to remove all these,
So the property owner would have to remove all the signage.
Yep.
Right.
That's what
But
it
that's already baked in. That's not
That's-
changing.
not being enforced, but but I was wanting to get that clarified here because it just says the owner.
Got it.
Yeah.
We're saying the property owner is responsible for removing all the signage and instead of the business owner that just closed the doors.
Yep, property owner.
All right. Now, are we gonna make, is this gonna be, so he has 30 days, that's all right. Well, that's right in line with our other one, so, okay, property. Well, are there any way that, it's like Mr. Tyler mentioned over there about business owner coming in and selling, we're giving him 2 years, then the next one, before it's leased out again, even though he sells the business, there has to be a new lease wrote. Then the property owner has to have it in his lease agreement what these things say for the new business owner has to do, or what he can and can't do. And then put the responsibility back on the property owner instead of putting it on the new business owners that's coming in.
Make sure I understand, Council.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting that there be something incorporated here that requires owners of property that are the landlords to require this in their leases?
Right, to require these.
Well, I don't know that you can specifically put anything in here that would tell the landlord you have to have a provision, but any landlord lease would have to be in accordance with whatever the regulations are of the city. So, point is, these landlords are on notice that if this is passed, if it's passed with the 2-year grace period or not, landlords are on notice that if the property sells, or the business sells, they can't allow a lease that would be in any way or in conflict with what is required here. So we wouldn't need to require them to put it in the lease. They're already required to comply with it. It's up to the business owner and or the landlord to know what these regulations are, but our code enforcements will be out. They'll know because of the new business license that's filed that a new business has come into a particular property that has store frontage, signage that's not, or that was grandfathered in that's no longer permitted.
Yeah, and that's correct. So what we do now is when we get, someone submits a business license, we have to check the zoning. So these new regulations will be given to every business owner as they come in City Hall requesting a business license. That way they know first and upfront about it.
Well, the reason why I said that is because the gentleman may not want to lease the building knowing all this is going to have to come in front of him.
Depending on what type of business. We see more of the LED lighting on your convenience stores, vape shops, and stuff like that. So we don't.
And we also have the facade grant that some of these people could apply for if they needed help in
Correct.
remodeling these buildings or whatever.
Could absolutely utilize that facade
And if it's in
grant.
Board of Region, they have that still for a few more years.
Yes.
Is the facade grant for the property owner or for the business owner?
It can be either or on the facade grant.
Your owner?
Yes, it can.
But
With
then,
the approval of the business owner, the applicant can request a facade grant.
But then the,
It's $10,000 matching. If the tenant comes in and wants to do a facade treatment, we have to get the owner's signature on
okay,
that
that,
application.
that was my
so that
next
he or
question.
she is
Does the
aware.
owner, does the property owner have to agree to?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that was my next question.
Yes, sir.
Went through this was forward and I asked all these questions then, but
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain the amendment motion for the couple items that I think I heard.
Well, I think we need to amend page 5. I make a motion to amend page 5 of the proposed ordinance to change the language from shall have 60 days notice, 60 days to 90 days.
Okay?
Do we want to do all motions, like
Sure.
all the amendments?
Go
in
right
one motion?
ahead. Let's make it cleaner, quicker.
And then to amend Section B, Part 2, from business sold to business sold 2 years after, what's the date?
The effect, 2 years after the effective date.
2 years after the effective
Date
date.
of this ordinance.
So to amend the language from business sold to business sold 2 years after the effective date.
Thank you, sir. So that is your motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, we're going to vote first on the amendment. That was motioned by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Whitt about changing the days in the ordinance on page 5 from 60 to 90, and then on page 3, section B2, from business sold to business sold after a 2-year period from the effective date. All good? All right. Any discussion on those? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton, on the amendment.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
no,
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. So the amendment is approved, so now we'll go back to the actual motion for the ordinance. So I'll ask if there's any final discussion.
I just think we're putting too much pressure on the landlords and the business owners here to try to do business here in East Ridge. My own personal opinion.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
No,
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Ordinance number 1205 passed first reading. We'll move to item 9A in new business, ordinance 1209.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend the fiscal year 2025 operating budget, ordinance number 1206, by changing the revenues and expenditures of various funds.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Qualls.
This is where you're officially giving me the permission to write the check for $1 million to be reflected in the budget.
All right. Big check. All right, I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1209.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 1209.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
yes,
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Ordinance number 1209 approved first reading. We'll move to item B, resolution number 3580.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a professional services agreement with S&ME to provide design specifications and monitoring services for the abatement of asbestos at the McBride School Building.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. S&ME performed a limited pre-demolition asbestos and lead paint assessment on the former McBride School earlier this year. Their report notes on pages 4 to 8, and you've got a copy of that in your packet. Approximately, their findings identified 25,000 square feet of vinyl tile, 1,600 lineal feet of insulation of thermal systems insulation, and 50 elbows of insulation that needed to be abated. There is a need for a professional and certified company as S&ME to prepare the asbestos abatement design specifications and documents to put this out to bid, and including monitoring services that would be warranted during the removal of the asbestos material. We have a proposal for S&ME dated March 20th to provide this asbestos abatement design and project monitoring services for this work in the amount of $19,780. That price is still good today. In talking with S&ME, they would be drafting the drawings, plans, and specifications for the project for bidding purposes and conducting the abatement monitoring services for the removal of the asbestos material. So the resolution before the council at this time would contract the services of S&ME for the services I just mentioned.
Thank you, sir. Council, I will entertain a motion for resolution number 3580.
I make a motion to approve resolution 3580.
Second.
A motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion?
Well, so how big is the McBride School?
54,000 square feet. I should note that we've had some asbestos abatement done prior to 2016. S&ME was involved with that also.
And I mean, this may sound like a roundabout question, but hear me out. What is essentially the cost per square foot of the proposed pavilion over there?
We don't have a cost because, well, if it's 12,000 square feet, and we're talking $6 million. Yes, sir. You have the calculator
I
out.
got a calculator out.
A calculator, and you got the finance director next to you.
Well, my question is, you know, would it be more cost effective to demolish and build a new building? I don't think it would be.
At this time, whether or not we demolish the building or whether or not we retain the building, we still have to do the abatement.
It's got to be abated.
That is required by law. We have not made a decision at this time of whether we're keeping the building or tearing it down. Asbestos has to be removed, whether we go one way or the other.
Thanks for the clarification.
And the cost is estimated between $3 and $5 a square foot. So you're looking at somewhere between $125,000 and $150,000 for the removal of the asbestos.
Much cheaper than I've heard previously reported.
Oh, yes.
We've had some of the asbestos removed in prior years. We took the school over in 2012, or it was handed to us. We took ownership of it. So between then and 2016, they did do some removal of the asbestos as far as the flooring is concerned and the ceiling tiles.
Yeah, even then, we were hearing upwards of six figures of abatement, so this is much, much less than what we originally had thought. So, yes, this is just the abatement which needs to occur regardless of the future of that standing building. But that will be coming to council not too long after this, because I want to see something done with that building. All right. Any other questions? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3580 approved. We'll move to item C, resolution number 3581.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the city manager to purchase a used pickup truck for the Building and Codes Department.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Howell.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Yes, we currently have a 2012 F-150 Ford Crew Cab that was transferred to us by the fire department. You might know this truck as Stump Martin's old truck that was in the Parks and Rec. So it's been around the block. We were hoping to get a new truck in the past budget, but due to budget restraints, we couldn't make that happen. So we're seeking approval to get a used truck not exceeding $30,000 out of our slum clearance line item.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3581.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3581.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3581 approved.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
We'll move to item D, resolution number 3582.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council approving bids for athletic field equipment and field maintenance supplies for baseball and softball fields at Camp Jordan Park for fiscal year 2024 through 2025.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Scholes?
Yes, Mayor and Council. The Parks and Rec Department opened sealed bids on July 31st for the athletic field suppliers for our baseball and softball fields. The Parks and Rec Department is seeking to purchase items for our fiscal year of July 2024 through June of 2025. 4 bids were received. Staff recommends awarding based on the lowest bid per item for the 2024 fiscal year as they all met bid specifications. And I did do tally sheets for everybody to look at. And I did do highlights based on some of the freight charges being unknown because freight will come with it, but they didn't include it.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3582.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3582.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3582 approved. We'll move to item E, resolution number 3583.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council to rescind Resolution 3542, which approved the low bid for construction of a multi-use mountain bike trail and pedestrian trail at Camp Jordan Park and to approve the second lowest bid for the project.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Scholes?
Yes, Mayor and Council. The Parks and Rec Department, as you know, opened bids on April 17th of this past year, and we did award to Martin Land Clearing. They have rescinded their bid and did not feel that they could get the project done for us. I then reached out to our second lowest bid, which was Lumberjacks, and met with the owner, Tyler, showed him the project layout, which you do have in your packet. I double checked with him. I do have him here tonight if council has any questions, because that, we're ready to move forward with this project. But he has advised that he can still do the project at the price that he did his bid for, and I am now seeking council's approval to award Lumberjacks the bid. Sorry, I can't talk tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3583.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3583.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3583 approved. Thank you. We'll move to item F, resolution number 3584.
a resolution of the East Ridge City Council to amend an agreement between the City of East Ridge and Chattanooga Area Regional Transportation Authority.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. City of East Ridge and the Chattanooga Area Regional Transportation Authority entered into an agreement back in August of 2017 to engage CARTA to provide what is called paratransit service, as we know as Caravan. The service provides transportation to senior citizens and the handicapped for trips to their medical appointments, pharmacy, jobs, etc. A per-trip charge at that time, since 2017, has remained as follows: $10 per trip for one way, city is responsible for $7.50, passenger responsible for $2.50. For a round trip, it's $20, where the city of East Ridge would be responsible for $15 of the total, and the passenger responsible for $5. That's been since 2017 to now. CARTA has informed us that they can no longer provide it at those rates, and they've got to increase our rates. We've got to double them. And because a grant is involved in this, we cannot increase the payment to the passenger. So the rates that are reflected, that would go into effect immediately upon this adoption of this resolution, that would in fact amend the August 2017 agreement, would be $20 per trip for one-way service, the city responsible for $17.50, the passenger responsible for $2.50. A round trip would be $40 per trip. The city would be responsible for $35 of the total, passenger responsible for the payment of $5. Just FYI information, the Caravan service has averaged approximately 278 trips per month since September 2023. And the actual cost that they've told us, the Caravan service comes to $45 per trip at this time. So the resolution before you for consideration for approval would amend the 2017 agreement at the $20 per trip one way and $40 per trip round trip, effective immediately. I should say that the only other city in the county that has the Caravan service is the city of Red Bank. They have already adopted these rates as we are looking at tonight, and they went to effect July 1st, 2024.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3584.
Motion to approve resolution number 3584.
Second.
A motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Miller, the discussion we had the other day, did anybody check in on this, that state transport van? You said you'd have a, what's his name, check in on it?
Yeah, we're checking into that, but that, we always have the authority to cancel the agreement, but right now, we have a service that I'm stringing along with a 2017 rate that CARTA, it's not acceptable to them. They're losing money.
Well, I understand that, but we still need to look into this other
Absolutely.
transport service that's out here that I see every time I go to the hospital, the doctor's offices up to North Cape, and so, I don't know the name of it, it's STSE or something, furnished by the state. Sethra, yeah, that sounds, yeah, Sethra,
Sethra,
SETHRA, something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
SETRA. Okay.
No, I don't wanna,
I remember some discussions about the Sethra back in my first stint here. I'll have to check on that.
yeah, I don't wanna lose either service, you know,
No, I don't
because our
either,
citizens
because
need it.
Agreed.
You
Yeah.
got a copy of how many citizens
Yeah,
utilize this. We have quite a few
Sure
in
do.
our city that really rely on this service.
I'm not sure that Sethra's not for rural though. It's southeast
It's south,
See it everywhere.
regional.
I
Well,
think,
we're in the southeast.
yeah, we are in the Sethra
Well,
area,
yeah, but
but I'll find out about that.
Maybe only a county, something for the county, I'm not sure, for county, actually,
Unincorporated county areas, yeah.
See, I see it down in Catoosa too. Well, but I've seen it down in there.
I'll have him check on that for sure.
All right.
Want to get this, I just want to get this thing continued,
Yeah,
so we're not cut off
might be
funding.
somebody up here, they're taking them from up here.
All right, if no other discussions, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes,
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3584 approved. That is the last item on the agenda, so we'll move to the discussion of tentative agenda for August the 22nd. The first item is a special presentation that was to occur tonight, but that was postponed to the next meeting. And then under old business, we have ordinance number 1205, which we just passed first reading, as it would be the second and final reading. It is the amendments to the signed ordinance. Actually, let me go back and read the updated one. Ordinance number 1205, an ordinance of the City of East Ridge City Council to amend the ordinance 1028, which has amended the East Ridge zoning ordinance number 481 by adding an additional section thereto, being section 111 of Article 6, supplement regulations and exceptions in the East Ridge zoning ordinance. Any discussion on that? Since we just passed it? The next one would also be one we just passed first reading, ordinance number 1209, an ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend the fiscal year 2025 operating budget. Ordinance number 1206 by changing the revenues and expenditures of various funds, and that is the prepayment for the new fire truck. Any questions? Under new business, an unnumbered resolution approval of proposal of audio-visual system equipment and installation at City Hall Council Chambers. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Mayor and council, city administration has solicited and received bids for audiovisual upgrades to council chambers, this room. We would like to accept the bid from the Input Group LLC for $24,847. The bid includes upgrades to the operating system, which would be a new smart system, be more user-friendly and easier to operate. It will replace both cameras and the TVs, all three TVs, to make viewing easier for the audience of any presentations.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions, council?
yes, sir. Are we gonna do anything about these things to where we can hear back here in the back?
When you say, were you talking about new microphones?
I'm talking about where those four people back there can hear us up here talking.
Well, the problem that we have is not necessarily with the microphones, it's when we speak into them. When I go back in my seat, it doesn't pick me up. If it doesn't have it on, it doesn't pick me up. But you don't want them so sensitive that if you're coughing or saying something to the individual next to you, it picks you up.
But if I can enhance that, is there any speakers beyond the ones right here? Are they speakers throughout the back?
We didn't get
They're not.
them.
Okay. Is that kind of what you're alluding to?
Maybe we could,
Up back there.
I
Because
can-
that's the biggest complaint I hear from our citizens that sit back there because they can't hear. And I'm sure they can hear me now.
yeah. These microphones have to be spoken into within 6 inches of your mouth. When you turn your head or you push your chair back, it doesn't pick you up. And people in the back can't hear you. So that's not, unless you want to go to super sensitive microphones.
If we put speakers back there on the wall or the ceilings back there, it wouldn't help. Because like he said, the
Okay.
only ones we've got them is up here.
That was not included in the
That
bid.
was
We
not,
can speak with
that
that.
was not, we can, if the council wants us to go that, we can certainly add that. I know that AV is, that's a real specialized area when you're talking about everything that we're looking at. When we were putting together the proposals for our new multi-purpose pavilion, Gentleman came in and put together a bid and proposal and put it before me. The cost on that was $175,000. And I looked at him and says, I'm not spending $175,000. That's an awful lot. So we have narrowed that down to the point where it's going to be an add alternate, but we can add the speakers, but if we start adding more and more, this cost of this $25,000 is going to substantially increase. But you
I
know,
don't agree, I don't disagree,
let
but I
you
do
know.
think, let's investigate the cost of some additional speakers further back in the auditorium, because to Councilman Cagle's point, I've had a lot of people say they struggle hearing, and that's why I try to stay up in front of this, but still, I think speakers further out will help.
Got it.
Any other questions? Sorry. All right, the next is another unnumbered resolution, approval of purchase of equipment and upfitting of CID vehicles from Truckers Lighthouse, Inc. through the Tennessee statewide contract.
Evening, Mayor and Council.
Yes, sir.
The subject of this is the East Ridge Police Department is seeking approval to use Truckers Lighthouse Incorporated to supply and upfit and install equipment to include all parts, labor, freight, shop fees, etc., to the newly acquired Criminal Investigative Division vehicles. This will include bed covers, secure storage units, such as a truck vault, and emergency lighting and audible warnings, lights and sirens. The total cost for all 4 trucks for the upfitting is $35,375.92. Truckers Lighthouse Incorporated complies under Tennessee statewide contract number 202 for installations for emergency audio-visual equipment and parts. This purchase was included in the budget and will be paid out of the drug fund. We have had services rendered by Truckers Lighthouse in the past. We found them to be a quality installer and upfitter who stand behind their work and fix any issues that might arise.
Thank you, Assistant Chief. Any questions, council? See none.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is unnumbered resolution approval of purchase of 10 sets of turnout gear for the fire department from NAF ECO through the Sourcewell Purchasing Alliance. Chief Williams.
Yes, Mayor and Council. The fire department is requesting the Mayor and Council to approve purchase of 10 sets of turnout gear. This purchase will be from NAVCO through Sourcewell. With the new gear, this will continue to provide our members with the best quality of protection from fire, which causes cancer and injuries. The total amount for 10 sets of turnout gear is $37,120. This amount was a budgeted item in this budget under line item 326, clothing and uniforms. Me and Mr. Miller were talking today, and this is part of our 3-year plan on turnout gear, flipping this turnout gear over and over, trying to keep the guys in the best quality gear that we can for their protection.
Thank you, sir. Council, any questions? See none. Thank you, sir. Council, is there any other items of business we should add to the tentative agenda for August 22nd? I see nothing. So thank you, everyone, for attending. Everyone have a great evening. Good night. This meeting is adjourned.